Hello, dear foodie friends, and welcome to Kitchen Chat. I'm your host, Margaret McSweeney, here in the beautiful award-winning Viking and La Cornue showroom with my dear friend and co-host, Chef Jaime Laurita. And I am just so excited, first of all, that you are joining us today. And this is an exciting episode. It's just the two of us.
It is.
Yes.
Margaret and I.
Yes, for a kitchen chat
Right.
here. And I thought what's going to be fun is to just kind of do an overview of the year. It has been quite the year.
I'll say, guys, it's been the year. A really fun year.
Absolutely.
And a year filled with lots of hard work.
Yes.
Number one. I mean, the ingredients for this year, if I was going to throw them in this Viking pot, would be hard work, dedication, passion.
And fun.
Fun, lots of
Yes.
events,
Yes.
and a little bit of drama, but in the best way.
In the great way, absolutely. And you have all been part of this and following our journey together here on Kitchen Chat.
That's right.
And if we could maybe just kind of look in the rearview mirror here as, oh my goodness, we're gonna have to give you the recipe for this. You're making potato?
Yes, today, you know, Margaret, thank you very much. Margaret brought us a great company, Melissa's Produce, who was giving me every Friday, I would call it my Melissa's Friday moment, when the box would arrive, lots of different esoteric ingredients. So today they sent me these really beautiful fingerling potatoes,
Yes.
3 different colors. So I saw this beautiful purple and this really nice like radish color potato and then a normal color potato. And I thought I would try to make a potato soup. So during this kitchen chat,
Yes.
we'll be making a potato soup with chipotle onions from Melissa's.
Oh, fun. And I love the sizzle. And there's been a lot of sizzle on Kitchen Chat.
We've been sizzling all year long.
So let's take a step back. I mean, I think it all began, Jaime, in your kitchen in North Barrington many years ago
It sure
for
did.
our first Kitchen Chat.
I remember that. The skies opened up. Remember that, Margaret? We had such a thunderstorm. Margaret and I wound up by the window of my kitchen, looking up into the sky and seeing this incredible storm pass through. But do you
Yes.
remember there was some sunshine coming through?
I do, and I'm getting goosebumps. It was just like hugs from heaven, and you know.
Margaret McSweeney. Whenever something like that happens, Margaret goes, "That's a hug from heaven."
Yes.
And we've had lots of hugs.
We have. And the first, I think, began in that moment in your kitchen and just realizing, because here, you know, at that point, I was not well known within the culinary field whatsoever, and you're a famous chef, and I came into your kitchen. But if you could share, I guess, with them and me, just what drew you to this journey? Because I am so grateful to you.
No, it was, in a nutshell, Margaret and I met at an event. I believe it was for Wings.
Yes,
Yes, and we've done a lot more work with Wings since then, but we met at an event for Wings. And there's something about Margaret McSweeney. I like to say that, you know, when you're with Margaret, it's like drinking an entire bottle of honey.
Oh.
She's so sweet that it's like unnormally sweet. I'm a little salty if you guys have seen me through Kitchen Chat. Margaret's more the sweet side of things. I'm a little bit more on the salty, but I'm sweet as well. But Margaret is super sweet, and that's what it was. I met this woman who was, you know, in this world, you meet all kinds of folks, and hopefully they're honest, but I knew that you were a very honest person. And I think that is what I needed, a good dose of honesty in my life, and you have brought that to me. And I feel like that was the reason why I wanted to work with you from the get-go, that your heart was in it.
Yes.
And you could feel the passion for your dad, and you shared your story about your father being a gourmet chef, but there's been so many coincidences, like your brother.
Oh, I'm getting goosebumps about this, because as you know, just a recap of why I do Kitchen Chat, it's a way to honor my late father, who was a wonderful gourmet home chef, just such a huge influence in my life. He died very early while on a business trip in Paris, massive heart attack in the Charles de Gaulle airport just months before my wedding. And so midlife, I am just honoring him and on this quest to understand what his joy of cooking was all about. I never exuded joy in the kitchen,
Right.
like he did. And so that was my big regret in life, not understanding that joy and going in and learning the recipes and learning the techniques that he always tried to share. So Jaime, you have that same joy that my dad is shared, and I see that, and you have just been such and continue to be such an incredible friend and influence.
I get a kick out of Margaret. That's the truth. Margaret is like, she's a joy to be with, not such a joy to drive with.
Oh no, the secret's out.
Wow, I got in a car with this woman. But just kidding. We almost got hit by a train once, but that's besides.
Well, no, the train was there.
It just appeared in the middle of the road.
It just appeared in the middle of the road.
That's what happens. That's what happens. So I have the same birthday as your brother.
Yes.
Your late brother.
Yes, and that is quite a story.
Right, and
absolutely.
We have, it was, I don't know, I have a lot of brothers and sisters, but I found a sister energy with Margaret, and that's how I feel, throughout this journey that we connect. And more so than that, I get real joy from watching you in the kitchen, knowing that you couldn't even boil water, and watching Margaret's knife skills. Your knife skills were crazy bad, but now they're getting better, and I get a kick out of watching her following recipes, and now, what's really astounding, Margaret, is your level of connection and how you can easily, because of your kindness and your good heart and your sweetness, Margaret can get any chef in the world on this show. And thank you for introducing me to so many chefs that, quite frankly, I didn't even know. Oh. I remember being on the James Beard Awards with you on the carpet.
Yes, that was so much fun.
I'm so busy cooking for other people that I don't really follow other chefs. I've got my favorites. We all know that I have a huge crush on Ina Garten, who we interviewed recently. Yes, that was so fun. Love me some Ina, and thank you for that. But Margaret has brought these chefs and these personalities into my life, and I'm a voyeur. I'm a kitchen voyeur. I love going into the lives of not just chefs, but artistic people. Mm-hmm. And sitting down and having all of these wonderful kitchen chats with you in the Viking showroom has been an incredible joy for me, because they truly have... we all have this common thread, and we all talk about the same things. It seems like love and what we put in our food comes from our ancestors and our parents and so on and so forth. Absolutely. But there's such distinct differences between us as well. And that's what I love to find out in our kitchen chat. Absolutely. The ingredients, their secret ingredients. And then us. I mean, you're the tattoos, I'm the pearls, and it's such an unusual but fun pairing. It sure is. And there's been so many moments where I am encouraging Margaret to let her freak flag fly, even though it's probably very small. I'm like, Margaret, allow it to happen, because chefs are, for the most part, we're very avant-garde people, especially in the mind. And when we have guests like, when some people, Margaret will clutch her pearls, and I'll cheer them on when they're getting a little bad. But remember when we had Mindy Siegel on? Mindy Siegel, what a fun interview that was with Mindy. And you two are longtime friends and have really... Yeah, I resonate with Mindy on that rock and roll vibe. Yes, and delicious cookies. Oh my goodness, so talented. I really want us to try to make one of her cookie recipes. Nobody makes a cookie recipe like Mindy. Yes. And being in hot chocolate, Mindy's got a great big heart. It's surrounded with I don't know, maybe thumbtacks. Sometimes she's got an abrasive edge, but that's what I love about her. And being that flavor, again, culinarians have this we all have the same thing in common. We all love food, as you are learning. Yes, absolutely. But we're different flavors of the same brand of ice cream. Yes. Maybe she's a little rocky road. The presentation is... What flavor would you be if you were an ice cream? I think just plain vanilla. But maybe with a few toppings. Maybe you're like, I don't know, what's a great classic, a swirl of almond or something. Oh, and caramel. I love caramel. So you can be a little dulce de leche, because I know you've got a little bit of that Brazilian flair, Portuguese. Margaret learned how to speak Portuguese and has recently outed herself on Kitchen Chat by speaking Portuguese. With Abe Conlon, which was so much fun. That was such an interesting world and fusion of flavors. I never expected that to come out of Abe. Didn't know him very well. Yeah, what a flavorful guy he is. Yes, and a food historian, really following the pathway of the ingredients and his ethnicity with Portuguese and the cow. I love his energy and his passion and his zest, right?
Yes.
So he would be more like, I don't know, I would say that he would be like Funky Monkey, that ice cream from Ben and Jerry's.
Now, what about you?
I'm Rainbow Swirl all the way, with a little smoked salt on the edge.
That's a good description.
But how many people have we done? I mean, Margaret, we always talk about where Kitchen Chat should go. And me traveling the world with all of these rock stars and celebrities, seeing the world, you know, being in India where the spices and the spice markets, and in Japan, I would love to take Margaret to Tokyo to see the fish market, and of course Paris.
Oh, that's where I want the journey to begin, because really that was where it does begin. Because with my dad,
remember the show on the Food Network, The Two Fat Ladies?
I never saw that one.
Yeah, it was about two women. They were like kind of partners in culinary crime, and they were very entertaining. I think that we should go on this journey into the world and go to these places and meet these faces that make that food happen. Like, how great would it be to bring Margaret on a boat that is actually bringing in the fish to the fish?
I get seasick. Oh my goodness, I don't know how.
That's why. I want to put Margaret on, like, you know, some of the journeys that I've been on the road. Like, I remember being distinctly in Japan or China, where I didn't know one word of Chinese. And I was in these markets where nothing was in English. And the person that was hired to take me around town, I lost them. So I'm alone in the market in China. And I didn't even know where I was coming from. I was in an arena somewhere, and I was basically lost in China. Imagine Margaret and I lost in China. I finally found, you know, this person who found me in the market, because clearly everyone was Chinese. And it didn't really, wasn't easy to find this individual.
Oh my goodness, that is scary. Now, I did go to China one time, and I don't know if I ever shared this story with you. This was during my 20s. And so I went from Hong Kong to China, to mainland China. This was back in the 1980s. And all by myself, I don't know what I was thinking. I went on this tour. And the first stop was at a Peking duck.
Margaret, do you hear my phone ringing?
Oh, it is. Do you need to answer it?
Yeah, let's see.
Oh, let's see. Who's calling?
Jesus. Okay, so tell me the story.
So anyway, we stopped at the Peking duck farm, and back then we had disposable cameras. You remember those little plastic disposables? So I wanted to get up and close. This was before selfies or anything like that. So I got next to this duck, and I took the picture, and all of a sudden, the ducks just got so mad at me, and a whole herd or whatever flock of ducks, Peking ducks, and they're big, they are big. They started running after me, and here I am.
You see what I mean?
And I fell in the mud.
And you fell in the mud?
I fell flat on my face.
Like full on flat in the mud? Were you covered in mud?
Yes. Yes.
See, this is what I'm talking about, folks. I want to capture that on film, because you know what? That will happen. She will get chased by ducks. I will be her sidekick, hopefully not being chased by ducks. That would scare me.
I was very scared. There were like at least 30 ducks. Big flapping and quacking and chasing me. I know.
This is what I'm talking about, kids. This is what I'm talking about. There's so many things that we could find across the planet that are, I've seen myself, but Margaret, really truly to learn about food is really, you got to travel.
Absolutely, because I feel that food brings us all to the table. You know, it gets us over the language barrier.
Sure. And you see people cooking in different countries. And getting back to our journey, like this year, I was able to go with the Middleby Corporation, and we're sitting here in the Viking La Cornue showroom. I can't wait to tell you guys that story.
Oh my goodness. And it involves driving.
It involves driving. It involves traveling with the CEO, Celine Bassoul, who I love dearly. Oh, that story,
yes, absolutely.
We were able to go to Haiti this year.
Yes.
And we were able to go to Puerto Rico this year. And he has a huge heart for charity,
He does.
And,
and I thought you were referring to how it all began when when
Yes.
you were in the car with me.
Absolutely.
And it was the day after the train incident
Right.
with that.
Right, and that's how we wound up here.
Yes, shall we share that story?
Yeah, I
that
think it's
is so
amazing.
fun to share.
think it's
So
amazing.
from your perspective.
From my perspective, Margaret and I have done tons of kitchen chats. The most amazing kitchen chat was with Anne Mullen.
Yes, and her kitchen in California. She now lives in London. We'll have to put that on the list of
Yes.
who to visit.
I
That
mean,
would
if
just
we
be
had
wonderful.
cameras that day, Margaret,
Oh, I know.
how amazing
I
was
know.
that?
That was so amazing.
And that's what kitchen chat is.
Yes.
That's where we have to take a kitchen chat.
Absolutely.
So what had happened was Margaret invited me once again to do a kitchen chat. I think it was with the CEO of Lavazza.
Yes, with Davide
Right.
Rubino.
And then I was supposed to do the kitchen chat with her, and then something happened to your tripod.
The tripod broke.
So I became the tripod, and I had to hold the camera. And Margaret was so upset because she was like, "Oh, I wanted you to do this kitchen chat," but I became the tripod holding the camera, which was fine because you guys had a lovely conversation. And I was glad that it was just the two of you because it was really special. Yeah. But we were at the trade show. What was it?
The National Restaurant Association.
Right. And then I was telling Margaret very, what's the word I want to use? Was I being salty that day?
With conviction.
Yes. I was in the car. I'm like, Margaret.
And I was driving. I think he was nervous about that.
Right. I was nervous already. I was scared already. It was raining on a cold Chicago day. And I'm saying to Margaret in the car, where is kitchen chat going? Why are we doing these kitchen chats? And who's listening to us? And blah, 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 blah. She's like, oh, God's trains run on time. And, you know, Margaret, she's always got, the greatest thing about you, I think, is that you are always taking this leap of faith and putting everything in God's hands.
Oh, well, thank you.
Right?
And that's what it is.
Yeah.
It is a journey of faith.
Right.
And, you know, without a GPS.
Yeah, exactly. A GPS is God's plans. Give me an S. You're so good at that.
Oh, my
God's
goodness.
Planning services.
Services, God's planning services. That's
She's working with God's planning services, folks. Her GPS on this journey. And basically, we wound up at this trade show. And on the way there, I was being a little salty. And I was asking Margaret where we were going to go with this and how we were going to find some sort of sponsor or some sort of large company to see what it is that we were doing. Lo and behold, we get to the show. Margaret claimed she wasn't lost, but she was. And
I was.
And I kind of knew where I was going from a place that we'd been before. And we ran into Salim Basul.
Yes, who actually was my former next door neighbor. And I was just so surprised. I did not know he was in this vertical. I mean, I'd see him in the driveway by the mailbox.
She had no idea he was the CEO
No.
of Middleby in general, the commercial company.
Yes.
And I did because I didn't know that Salim was in charge, but I knew Middleby. Who doesn't know Middleby? They're huge. They're a commercial company. For those of you that don't know, they own lots of commercial companies that build commercial appliances for kitchens, pizza ovens and ice cream machines and nitro coffee machines and all kinds of stuff.
And Jade.
And
Blodgett.
South Bend and Blodgett and Pitco, all these companies. I know because I'm a chef, I've seen lots of these brands and I know who Middleby is. Yes. Margaret didn't know that that was her next door neighbor.
Well, he had moved several years ago too, you know, but I don't care what people do. I care who they are and how they treat you. And he was always very kind.
And long story short, we got to talking to Salim, who's like, him and I are very much alike when it comes to our level of energy.
Yes.
And we resonated like a house on fire. Long story short, here we are. I helped him design and build the Viking La Cornue showroom with his team, his daughter Kiki, and our team.
Yes, the award-winning Viking La Cornue.
And we just opened another one up in
Yes.
this year in New York City.
And it's gorgeous.
It's so beautiful in the A&D building, and our team did that one too. And now we're traveling to California and Miami to do those. So there's the 411. But back to the story.
Yes.
Now Margaret is working with and bringing in so many chefs. Who've we had in here this year?
Oh my goodness, it started with Ina Pinkney. This time last year, remember we had Ina.
The breakfast queen.
Yes, yes, and it was so much
Truly
fun.
a breakfast queen. Truly a queen.
And a great
As a matter of fact, I'm sitting on her throne. She was sitting right here, remember?
Yes.
And she was dictating to me like, oh, I was like, okay, girl, you just tell me what to do.
And that
was the first time we used the turbo chef.
Yes. and which is an
It is.
amazing addition to life.
I happen to have a crush on an appliance, and it's behind us, the Turbo Chef by Viking. If you don't know about it, you need to learn about it. It's amazing.
We'll put a link to all of this, of course. But yeah, so Ina began everything. And then, of course, we had Gail Gand, who was just
Who doesn't love Gail
amazing. Love her. Abe Conlon, Mindy Siegel, Ina Garten we had, and that was so much fun.
What about Kevin?
To go to her. Yes, Kevin Bame, Donnie Medea.
Donnie Medea?
Yes.
How much do I love Donnie Medea?
Oh, amazing. Dear.
And then, not just the greatest chefs and restaurateurs in Chicago, Margaret McSweeney's bringing in, but the mayor of Chicago.
Oh my goodness. And I loved how, and we'll get to that story in a second, but also Chef Stephanie Izard was in.
She was great.
Oh, just so much fun. And then we were on, and Steve Delinsky with pizza, and then we were on the red carpet for the James Beard Awards. Oh, Gabi, who I love. She is just so many. And then we had the wonderful party for Barbara Lazaroff here.
We did.
So many celebrations. But let's get back to just what a small world, a hug from heaven.
Dory. Sorry.
Oh, and Dory. I love Dory.
If we forgot you, we didn't forget you.
Absolutely. Absolutely. But I loved this hug from heaven where, and this is so important because remember, it all began with Wings, Women in Need Growing Stronger, this wonderful not-for-profit which helps women and children get a second chance after domestic violence. They have a safe house in Chicago, also in the northwest suburbs of Chicago, and they do so much in helping them rebuild their lives. So there is a safe house here in Chicago, and I'm on the Leadership Advisory Board, and Rebecca Darr, who is one of the originals to introduce us.
Rebecca's so great.
Yes, through Lisa, remember with Quintessential Barrington.
Lisa, who doesn't?
Love that.
I mean, Lisa, it's like all these names. Look how many people we've met in the last
Oh, I know. It's been crazy. But anyway, Rebecca called and said, our oven has died in the safe house here in Chicago. Do you think we can get some help? So Viking, Darcy, who was just wonderful with Middleby, made that happen. I mean, overnight. So it was just amazing.
That was definitely by far one of the most profound and special moments we've had here in the show.
Yes,
the mayor was truly touched.
Well, this was the surprise, and this is what I loved, that how Kitchen Chat and all the worlds kind of intertwined here. So we'd already had a scheduled Kitchen Chat with Mayor Rahm Emanuel to come in, and he is very much involved with this special safe house in Chicago. And so what he did not know is that Viking had just installed a new oven for the safe house, and the children, I'm getting goosebumps, the children from the safe house made Jamie's chocolate chip cookie recipe, which we will post for you. They baked those cookies in the new Viking oven in the safe house. And anyway, Rebecca presented it as a surprise during our Kitchen Chat. ABC News was here too. It was just such a celebration. And that's where my heart and your heart is too, is to bring charity into the kitchen. It's so important. And that's why we always ask the guests what's an important charity. And I hope you're enjoying the links that we provide for that in terms of how you can get involved in different things. But that was such a highlight.
It was. It was. So meeting all of these personalities has been pretty much the highlight of being in the Viking showroom. And not only that, folks, but not to like get back to selling appliances, because we don't do that here. We just inspire people, and I love the brand so much. We found out that the first Viking range was actually sold on my birthday.
Oh, gets even crazier. Okay, I have another fun story to share too. And you need to share your story about how, your dreams of Viking.
Yeah.
And
folks.
Hi, and we're in the showroom.
You're not interrupting. We're live. We're live. Come on in.
Yes, welcome. That's fine.
Yeah.
Just please watch out for the wires. Help yourself. Yes. No worries. No worries at all. But yes, I would love for everyone to hear your story, because remember, you had it on your vision board about Viking, and this is just so profound. And then we'll talk about the first
story
purchaser.
In a nutshell, I've always loved the brand. We had the brand in our home growing up. All of my friends who had successful parents that were great gourmet cooks had the brand in their homes. Me going to the Culinary Institute of America in Hyde Park, they had the product there. So Viking was always in my life prior to me attending culinary school. And I had a big passion for cooking younger, and a lot of the people that loved to cook also had Viking products. So going into culinary school, I had a picture of a Viking range and one of their first ads pinned to my dorm room wall. And I would always say while I was studying, and I wasn't a great student, but I had to be in order to do well at the school, which I did. I used to tell my roommates that I wanted to be an ambassador for the brand. And one day I was going to work for that company and I was going to own a Viking range. All of that happened except for me becoming a brand ambassador. And then I got on the Oprah show one day, many years later, and they asked me where I wanted to stand for my interview. So I sat right next to my Viking range. And because it was special to me, Margaret, it's like you're only as good as your tools and your relationships in life. And at that point, I was like, well, fill me in my kitchen, which was a complete Viking kitchen.
Wow.
And I had then emailed Viking back then to say I was just on the Oprah show and I basically did a commercial for you there. And,
and with your cookies, which we are going to give a link to.
Yes, we are.
For the recipe.
Basically, long story short, as time went on, I never got an email back then. Who knows why, but when Celine, panning back to that day, when Celine came by and told me that he had a showroom project in the merchandise mart, which I used all the time, and that they just were about to roll out the new Viking products, I couldn't believe the words came out of his mouth. And there I was with the CEO of a company that owned Viking Range. And I told him the story and he thought it was amazing. And here I am today as one of their brand ambassadors. I'm so passionate about the brand. I love the brand. I cook on it every day. This is my 5 series, but my best friend, I call her a she, and she does me such great work for us here in the Viking showroom. And we're cooking that potato soup on a really, really nice low simmer. But Margaret, I do love the brand. And then you found out that the first range.
Oh, this is the crazy story too. So I always just wanted to interview the first owner of a Viking range, and she's in New York City. So it was such an honor to be named Chicago's ambassador for Women's Entrepreneurship Day.
Margaret McSweeney.
Oh, so I was in New York a few weekends ago to actually celebrate National Women's Entrepreneurship Day at the United Nations. And so while I was there, I'd reached out to Tim Tyler, who's head of marketing at Viking, and said, Tim, do you think we can make it happen for me to have an opportunity to just hear her story? Patricia King is her story.
And she has the most beautiful Viking kitchen.
Oh, it's
with Viking cabinetry and appliances and things that Viking used to make back in the day.
Yes, and what's crazy about this, first of all, to hear her story and the fact she told the story about the check, which I saw, and so the first owner of a Viking put a deposit down, which was Patricia King, for $100 on, as she said, the Ides of March, March 15th, 1986.
That's the day this one was born, folks.
Isn't that crazy how it all comes full circle? But the other crazy thing, too, is this first purchaser of a Viking range was the one, she and her company were the ones that taught me public speaking during my training program at Chase Manhattan Bank.
Do you see what I'm saying? This is crazy. So this woman bought the range on my birthday.
Yes.
Trained Margaret in public speaking. And where was the Margaret reference?
Oh, that was the original owner of Viking's wife. So Carl.
Oh,
yes.
His name was Margaret.
Yes.
This could be just our thing, but it can't be all just a coincidence.
No, they're hugs from heaven, as I like to say. And I want to encourage you because there are hugs for heaven out there for everyone.
That's
and
true.
I think it's so important. And the important lesson in the kitchen, too, is connecting, to build community, because that's what Kitchen Chat is all about, too.
It truly is. And actually, that's what Viking is all about.
Yes.
Too. I mean, not to sit here and promote the brand too much,
but it's an important one.
True. It's
yes.
the people behind, and that's why I do this job, because I was able to go down to Viking several times, and I just love the people. There's just soul down there.
In Greenwood, Mississippi.
And the Viking Cooking School and their passion. There's just a great group of people down there that make this product. It truly is the heart of America.
It is.
And for me, it's the heart of the kitchen. And, I feel pretty honored to stand behind their product because I believe in it so much. And, my food comes out perfect every single time. It's got a lot to do with the product.
It does. And can we take a peek at this?
Yeah.
And it's been so much fun. I'll make sure you have links too. You'll want to see Jaime's recipes. Early on last year, you taught me how to make broccoli rabe and these words I will never speak Italian.
Margaret, you have to do us a favor and post some bloopers.
Okay, I will. That was so fun.
Right?
That one day
What you don't see are the bloopers. The bloopers are just ridiculous. So funny.
It was funny. We could not stop laughing. I forgot what it was even about.
Who knows? But let's just recap a little bit more.
Yes,
The soup is coming out great.
Yes.
I mean, so many great things have happened. We've had so many events here in the showroom.
And you have a show. We have to talk about your television show.
Well, how about the award?
Yes.
We won an award. We won an award from the KBIS.
Yes.
Margaret applied our showroom. If it weren't for you, it wouldn't have happened. But we won for second place for best new showroom in America, right? And it was a...
This is a blooper. I choked on my tea. I'm so sorry.
We gotta keep that in. Keep it in. Oh, no. Keep rolling. Keep rolling. So
are my eyes just...
You're good. You're good, Margaret. You're not, no one... Oh, no. This could be a blooper.
This could indeed. I'm so sorry, Lynn, for blasting the earphones with my coffee.
I say we keep it in. So we're going to keep rolling, and Margaret hopefully will repair herself. But anyhow, what we were talking about was, before you started...
The KBIS.
Oh, KBIS. So
yes.
we won this great award. That's what I want to say. But also with that, the memories that really come from the people that have visited us. We've had so many designers come through this showroom.
Oh, yes.
So many great people, customers that come here to visit us. We've always got something cooking.
Yes. Oh,
so the food that's come out of this showroom. And now in New York, we have a great team. We've got Morgan, and then Jackie Rotham is there.
And that's a whole other memory from last February, going to the Chew.
Big fun.
And we were on the front row, remember, for the tasting. And I had a broken shoulder. We forgot about all of that. I broke my shoulder.
Margaret came in with a black cast. She looked like, with her black dress and her pearls and her black, she actually looked kind of scary.
Oh, no.
The nicest woman on the planet looked scary with her black cast, like walking around.
Oh, but Carla, that was so wonderful
Carla,
to see her, love her. But that was fun. So
you made that. I am now friends with so many chefs because of Kitchen Chat.
Oh. That just makes me smile. She is
Remember
such
when we
a
went
wonderful...
out with her in New York City?
That was so much fun. Absolutely. So it is just about building community and celebrating the friendships and the food.
The relationships.
And the relationships. And I'll make sure that we post some of those, the food that we have cooked together with, and that was so much fun for during award season.
Yes.
And because, as you know, I always like to pair food and film during the awards season, during the Academy Awards. So remember, I chose Shape of Water.
Yes.
And it ended up winning. That was such a fun thing. I came in my ball gown to cook.
She came in her ball gown. Margaret's like, she's very sophisticated and very always represent. Look at her dress today with her pearls. But you looked really beautiful the day we did the James Beard Awards on the red carpet. How fun was that?
That was so much fun. What a highlight, and just a stream of all these great chefs. Chef Grant Atchis, that was very special, and Chef Jose Andres,
exactly.
And that was very meaningful because you had just gotten back from Puerto Rico, and if you could share with the listeners and viewers a little bit more about just the heart of charity that Middleby has, and with Salim and that specific trip. And maybe we should show what that looks like.
Yeah, we will.
Yes, we'll make sure.
Very, very, I don't want to go into it too much, but we went on some journeys together that we basically, we did some great charity work. And Haiti and Puerto Rico were some astounding trips that we took to help people by giving them a Middleby oven, and we'll talk more about that.
Yeah, no, that was so special. And it tied in so nicely with Chef Jose Andres, who of course was in Puerto Rico helping.
Thanks for coming.
Yes, bye. Who was of course in Puerto Rico helping feed everyone.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, Margaret, I think that there's so many things we could be talking about.
Yes.
We can go on and on forever, but most importantly, I think that what I've learned from doing kitchen chats here in the Viking La Cornue showroom is that there are more to these chefs than people know. And you meet chefs that have other passions as well and take that artful energy and inject it in other things like art and painting and exercise. And I think that people would like to know more about that. And I think taking Kitchen Chat to another level is so important to follow the lives of these people that are game changers when it comes to food. And as we know, food is art and food is love and food is really, really important. And I'm hoping that we can grow this pod called Kitchen Chat and reach out to people and do more things for Wings and other corporations that are helping and need to help people as well.
Absolutely. I would just love that. And through the process to retrace some of those special places where my dad visited. I am just going to put this out. Paris, I would love, and I'm trying not to cry, I would love for us to walk together into Notre Dame Cathedral.
It's going to happen.
And light a candle in memory of him, because that's the last thing he did before he went to the Charles de Gaulle Airport where he passed away. He lit a candle at Notre Dame as an act of forgiveness and to say a prayer for someone who had wronged him and a business deal. That was his final lesson to me, that of forgiveness. And I would just love that. And while we're there, to go see Ina and Dory and La Cornue. Absolutely. Oh, that would be so much fun.
It would be.
So a lot of special adventures still ahead.
It's been a great year filled with lots of hard work, like I said, but really, Margaret, speckled with and laced in, because of you in Kitchen Chat, with so many profound memories for me and relationships that are so important in the culinary field, to know these people that are making a difference in the world through food. And I feel like it's just the beginning.
This is exciting, and I'm just so grateful to our foodie friends who have joined us. Yes, you have joined us, and we love hearing from you and hearing your stories too. And who knows, maybe we'll go visit you in your kitchen. I think that would be fun.
Yeah, that would be fun too.
Yes, absolutely, to look at that. But I do want to go to Paris, and then maybe even, and this is a big stretch, but my dad, he had written the story about being in Panama and going by canoe to see the Kuna Indian tribe. And I know, in the jungle, I don't know. What do you think?
No, yes, no, yes, oh yes. Yes, let's go to the jungle, Margaret. Margaret's going to be in the jungle. I could just see it with her Chanel shoes, poking through the jungle, with
netting,
mosquito net around her,
but in my pearls,
in her pearls with a butterfly catcher. Maybe we'll see some butterflies. No, snakes.
No snakes. Oh my goodness.
Snakes. That's what's in the jungle.
Oh, I know. But and I know I get a lot of questions from you about why pearls. Why, Barbara, why are you always wearing the pearls? She wants me to change to the necklaces. But it's just about the grit and grace. So many of us encounter a lot of grit in life.
That's for sure.
Yeah, I'm a 6-year breast cancer survivor. I'm so excited about that. But it's all about the grace as well. And for me personally, just God's love covering the grit and turning it into a pearl, and then connecting us all in a community.
Well, that is an amazingly beautiful statement, and you are truly a pearl in all of our lives. Everybody loves McShweens. That's her nickname. I myself am gritty. I'm just gritty. Period. But that's what I'm known for. Well, but maybe I'm the grit that polishes the pearl.
Yes, you are a dear friend, a dear friend and like a brother, and I just can't wait to continue this fun journey. I mean, we'll just see where it goes.
It's been a heck of a year, Margaret. I would have said hell of a year, but I was afraid she was going to grab her pearls. But at the end of the day, I think Kitchen Chat is where it's at.
Oh, I love that. Thank you so much. I'm just excited about this journey, and thank you for being part of it.
And we've got another year ahead of us, and some exciting things already on the forefront of that year. Yes, my TV show on TLC.
Congratulations.
Make This Place Your Home. That was a fun little ride, and that's really been fun to do. I've got some other projects in my mind that we're thinking about.
Yes.
And so it should be a good year.
It should be, and always.
No, it will be.
It will be, absolutely, and for you too.
Exactly.
Yes.
We hope it's a great year for you guys. For us, it's been an amazing journey. And I can only wish that the people watching this can experience some great things in their lives too. Kitchen Chat has always been a fun project that's been just charged with goodness and with truth. And that's the best thing about Margaret. Bringing me into this has been really eye-opening, and I've learned so much just about people by just interviewing them. And it's really, really fun.
Oh, well, thank you so much. And I think we should make a tea toast.
I got some coffee.
And coffee to you, dear
And
friend.
to you, dear friend.
To Viking, and to you, dear foodie friends. Thank you so much for joining us on this culinary journey. Make sure you visit Jaime and the beautiful Viking and La Cornue showroom here at Suite 137 in the Merchandise Mart, and also visit me in my kitchen, kitchenchat.info. And always remember to take a moment and savor the day.
And happy holidays, everyone.
Happy holidays.